I've had moments of happiness throughout my life, but to feel overall like genuinely content was pretty new for me. And part of that was getting healthy and sober.
Have you noticed a difference in clarity of approach of songs?
Yeah. Everything's times 10 better. My productivity is through the roof. I still want to write INME material. So I've been working on even the follow-up to what we're going to release this year. Like, I'm addicted to it. And it's the best stuff I've ever written in my life.
Are you familiar with Sleep Token?
I mean, I really like them. I like Sleep Token's music a lot. But
I worked out today that I've been enjoying the music created by this individual for about 20 years now. Initially, when I heard about them through their rock band INME, and more recently than that, as a solo acoustic singer-songwriter and performer. And I'm excited to have the chance to talk to them about all those things and their songwriting approaches, and also find out what they're up to these days and what we can see from them in the near future. So welcome and thank you for joining me, Dave McPherson. Now, to begin, I just want to get a sense of where you were at, because I saw on your Facebook page a post you put together around New Year's Eve, which reads, happy, healthy, sober, focused, driven, excited, fascinated, overwhelmed, proud, and genuinely content, having been quite the opposite for an eternity. It feels amazing to say life is good. See you soon, 2024. We've much work to do. Now, I think we all aspire to feel such positivity ourselves. What's led to that sense of where you say you are in the new year?
Well, mostly the first three, I guess. Getting happy, which I didn't think was really possible. I mean, I've had moments of happiness throughout my life, but to feel overall like genuinely content was pretty new for me, and part of that was getting healthy and sober, and mostly that, to sum it all up. Lots of reasons, but mostly taking care of myself and sorting out some stuff up there, you know.
Sure. Yes. I mean, that is vital. If you don't feel healthy in body and mind, everything else is going to be, at a lesser degree. How recent is that kind of shift of healthiness you managed to cultivate?
It was a process over a couple of years, but now, it's been over half a year of just sleeping well, eating well. I don't drink anymore, which was a big factor. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and it just feels amazing because I never thought I could tackle it, and I always thought, how can I go a day without a drink, let alone the rest of my life? And it's just, now I wear it with pride. I love being a sober guy. I love being in control. I love feeling good. Like, I sleep well from it. My alcoholism was severe.
Really?
And everyone's struggles are complicated and unique. But my mum was like, I would have been dead within a year or two if I was carrying on the way I was going, and I was miserable, and that helped. My like, alcohol's a depressant, so I was going through some really tough times in my life, and then that's the cycle as well. It was like, well, there's nothing left to live for today other than to forget my problems and get drunk, and it's been weird. It's like I'm a new person, which is a strange thing to adapt to. I'm just organised. I'm responsible. I'm looking forward. I'm counting my blessings instead of like counting all the bad things in my life, which there always will be. But I'm on the up, basically. So and with that comes like this. It's cliche and cheesy, but I'm just hyper positive, and like I could break down all those little words I said to you. I said in that Facebook post, like fascinated. I was like, wow, that sounds a bit grandiose, but I think with a sober head on my shoulders, I see life very differently, and therefore I'm a much more useful, present person.
That's amazing. It makes total sense. I relate to this on some level because I now, since for the last few years, I've had a couple of kids, and life is very challenging. And what tends to happen is that by the end of a challenging day, I'm like, man, I need a glass of wine. And I have a couple glasses of wine. And then that means I start the next day already tired, already feeling a bit rubbish, which doesn't help me get through the challenge of the next day. So then I feel like I need to drink more at the end of the next day. And I can see the cycle. And I also see in my future a way to reduce.
That sounds a lot healthier than not that it's a peacocking competition, but I think you've got it down. I think it's a very simple thing that I use as a mantra, I don't say that because it's part of some program or whatever. I just stuck to it. I saw a quote from, it was Matthew Perry.
Oh yeah,
I think it's a well-known thing that he'd sort of said, and it was one drink's too many and 1,000 is not enough.
God, yikes. Yeah, that's deep.
And therefore I'm a zero, and I'm happy with that, because that means I'm in charge of it. Because I know if I can't drink like a normal person, if that's a thing, I can't drink in a healthy fashion. So yeah, sorry, I digressed, but
No, it's fascinating because that's really interesting to hear. Because then, I'm going to talk about songwriting and the rest, and I wonder whether that's going to have an impact on your songwriting. Have you noticed that yourself? Have you? Because presumably if you stopped drinking, then you were doing quite a lot before. So presumably you did a lot of songwriting whilst under the influence. Have you noticed a difference in clarity of approach of songs?
Yeah, everything's times 10 better, basically. And it's not going to be like, oh great, now he's just singing about sunshine and rainbows. I still have dark stuff I like to explore, but just my productivity is through the roof. Like, I wouldn't have been able to we've just finished demoing an album that we were working on for 3.5 years. We're super happy with it, the band INME, and it got to the point just as I was like getting really sorted. I was sorting myself out, and I was kind of back. People were saying Dave's back. I don't know how long I've been away. It's probably at least a decade. But I was like, okay, well, I still want to write INME material. So I've been working on even the follow up to what we're going to release this year, which is like, I'm addicted to it, and it's the best stuff I've ever written in my life. So just all for the better. And I'm just like, I want to write, whereas before I didn't want to write. I was quite
Really?
lazy with it, and so just in every way for the better, as it would be with anything, I suppose.
Yeah,
There's
this
this
is
kind of
like
romantic idea that artists need to be suffering, and that was when they wrote that, when they were like, I don't know,
yeah.
addicted to something or in a really bad place, and that's when they create their best music. I don't think so. I think my music is now more focused and real, and more identifiable for me now as a person.
That's amazing. Are you familiar, as a quick aside, with the band by the name of Beartooth?
Yeah,
Because
they were my biggest. The old Spotify
Spotify Wrapped thing.
2023 summary. That album, I just came across it by accident. I'd sort of heard of them, and then I listened to The Surface. And at first I was like, I don't understand this at all. But I listened all the way through to the album, and then it turned out to, like, there was a lot of stuff I could relate to in that lyric.
100%.
And,
Yeah.
and then I found out it was kind of Shomo from a band called Attack Attack.
Attack. That's right.
And
even like early Beartooth stuff is the tortured artist. It's gut wrenching. It's dark. It's depressing. It's tough. And then this new album, though, is a totally different person. This different mindset, but still kicks. It still has dark humanity, but the positivity is enriching as well. It's amazing.
Yeah. And that Might Love Myself, it's like such a simple thing. And at first I was like, is that sort of a big ego thing? Like, I love myself. But it's like, no, he loves his, what was it? The famous saying, your health is your wealth. So, I related to that, Might Love Myself. And and then I heard some of the previous stuff, and I dig it, but I'm much more into the sort of triumphant stuff as opposed to the I hate myself. I don't want to exist sort of stuff.
Certainly, it's a lot more productive.
Yeah, and good for him. And yeah, I love that band.
Nice.
Yeah,
I just can see the comparison there, because I guess the fear of like the tortured artist, but actually like there's gold in the hills that are undiscovered of being looking after yourself and positive in the rest. So that's kind of exciting.
yeah. And
I wonder.
actually
Go on.
deal with a bit more clarity about things without it just being because it's there's not that much to relate to with someone who doesn't even want to get out of bed or doesn't want to wake up in the morning, sort of thing. So that's not the healthiest positive message. So, but people can find out for themselves when they hear the newer stuff. They'll be like, okay.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
that's exciting.
Seeing that we're back on form, and
Nice.
and I'm sort of back behind the wheel, sort of thing.
So on that point, so you've got an album that you're finishing off at the moment. Did your kind of journey? I'm looking at the timeline here. Your kind of more sobriety, healthy living. It sounded like it was in the middle of that album. So is there a shift in songwriting that's happened during that process? Have you ditched some of the earlier songs, or like where are the songs in relation to that for the most recent album that's coming out?
So the one that we're all working on as a band for the last 3.5 years. Yeah, I mean, obviously we'll be recording it with me as a sober guy, but it's called Demons, so it kind of works. But it's kind of nice that it sums up that chapter of my life. So it's a dark album, but it's still quite uplifting. But then some of the lyrics I've gone back and gone to the guys. Look, I want to write. I want to write about this instead, like something a bit more uplifting and relevant to me now. But it was like what I'm working on at the moment, which will be the follow-up. So I don't know why I shouldn't be talking about it because it's so far ahead. But,
that's like a couple of years ahead.
The guys will get annoyed. They're like focused on currently get released, which is fair. But that'll be a nice sort of that was tough to go through. But here's an album that's representative of it. But with that album, it was like major and pandemic, and I couldn't write. I wasn't physically capable of opening Logic Pro and mentally like properly structuring and working on every single little detail and element of a song. I just couldn't face it, and I didn't want to, and I was elsewhere. So we did it together. I'd go around. Gaz is our guitarist. I live in Brighton, as well as Mike and Gaz from the band. So we'd just meet up once a week, twice a week, and work on stuff naturally. So it was being guided by people that had their feet on the ground. So yeah, it's not a shambles or anything, but yeah. So there's that, and then this one, I'm just totally with it. So yeah, I'm kind of a perfectionist now, whereas before, I definitely got sloppy.
I mean, that's its own struggle, though. Perfectionism is tough as well.
It's a good struggle. I'm fine. I'm totally fine with it because I don't like not being busy, and that's the other thing. Is like I'm so much more active now. Like I'll sleep when I'm dead. I sleep well anyway now, but I'm just so productive. I mean, I'll go through it with you. I'm guessing this is a lengthy chat, so I'm starting a new fun little side project band with with the two guys from INME that are in Brighton, just so we can be more active musically than we can with the band, because we're all scattered around the country, and so we're doing that as well. And that I'll be the drummer. So I always wanted to be a drummer.
What?
And as someone who was just not really doing anything in his life because I was in such a bad place, I always wanted to be a drummer, but I never made it happen. Whereas now it was like, once we sort of discussed it, and I was like, well, I always wanted to be a drummer, and you need a drummer because guys have been working on this musical idea that wasn't in me. And then Mike was involved, and I was like, well, okay, do it. And today I booked up this
Wow.
rehearsal. I do need a drum kit though, but luckily we can rent one at rehearsal. So, but
That is,
yeah,
I'm so fascinated already. Because I mean, firstly, how dare you be an excellent vocalist and songwriter and guitarist, and you've got drums as well. That is unfair. But you don't have a drum kit. So how do you know where your chops are at, or is this something
I've
you just
always
have a
like
feeling about?
ever since we started. I mean, I was a drummer before I was a guitarist, just because you can
Ah,
on a desk. You know,
yeah,
you can always practice like rhythms and things and beats. And but I've been a drummer. I've been a drummer. I was in a band called Sentiment, and early on we were just like a local band sort of vibe, just playing Essex. Yeah, I was the drummer in that, and I've always gone when we've had a break at rehearsals. I've always once the guys go out to have a cigarette or whatever, I'd spend 15 minutes catching up on the drums. I'm not the best
nice,
in the world, but I don't aim to be. I just want to play hard and have a good time with it, and compliment the songs and just have fun.
nice.
I just have fun with friends. Um, but yeah, I guess I spent a lot of my life practicing guitar, drums, and singing. So better than that, better at that. Hopefully, I mean it's subjective than most other things.
Nice. Well, that's really exciting to check out what that's like. And you're dead right. You don't have to be the best in the world to do something interesting musically on really on any instrument, right? You can bring your own creativity. And equally, you've got bands like AC/DC, whose drummer is a straight rock beat in every single song, but it rocks, it kicks. You know, it depends on the genre you're working in, whether you need to be that technically advanced or not, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Same with INME. We everything has to be for the song. So we don't. We're not a showy offy band anymore. We have shown off in the past, and it shows. It's like okay, well that riff's unnecessary. It's just a riff. It's
Unnecessary.
a riff salad, as our guitarist Gaz calls it. So
Right.
yeah, um, everything's about the song, and that's something that's achievable to us. Whereas if you're in, I mean, I don't do competition anyway. It's only going to end badly for yourself if you live that life and trying to be better than
Yes.
everyone else. And I'm definitely, I'm 41 years old. There's no way I'm ever going to up my shred chops to some of these levels. And my fingers, I mean, I'm starting to creak and ache and hurt from all the years of jumping around stages, playing the hardest thing in the world and playing as hard as I
Yeah.
could. So yeah, I'm happy I don't have to try to be the best. And drums, I mean, some of the drummers these days.
Mate, I mean,
It also has to be fun, otherwise I'm not doing it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's no. I watched some of these, you know, the tech metal stuff. I love tech metal. I love listening to it, but I wouldn't want to be that drummer.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some things I don't even aspire to. I'm like, you know what? You can have it. It's amazing. So impressive, but you can have it.
Yeah, you want to viscerally smash out a beat and have fun with it, whilst sort of almost turning off your conscious mind. Which you can't do that with some of these tech bands. I'm like,
No, no.
I wouldn't even be able to
Jesus.
play that whilst seriously concentrating. And yeah, it doesn't look fun.
No. No. And also, when it comes to competition, you kind of have two choices. If you see someone who you think is a better musician than yourself, you can either be jealous and annoyed, or you can be inspired.
Yeah,
Like, that's like, why not? Want to go, isn't that amazing? What can I learn from them? It's a
yeah,
much healthier way to look at it.
yeah. And I try not to do that. I think I've heard so much music over the years now. I don't even know what I like anymore. But yeah, yeah. So
You just like silence now. You listen to so much music. Like, I just like a quiet room.
oh no, I love music, but yeah, I mean, even I surprise myself. I'll suddenly go, like, if you looked at my Spotify recents, it'd just be random. There'd be nostalgia listens. There'd be uh, like a random suggestion that comes up with that I happen to fall in love with, or yeah, it's weird. Forgotten where I went. I'd done a tangent again.
No, I like it. It's great. I'm good at pivoting from tangents because on that, There is an amazing quantity of great rock music these days, especially. The metalcore genre is massive. And
Metalcore.
metalcore, yeah. So that's the kind of. And what I want to get to here is I feel like your band are one of the originators of metalcore. I don't think I was hearing many bands that were doing kind of pop rock sort of song structure and catchiness that also featured scream vocals here and there as an offering that wasn't in like death metal. Do you know what I mean? Like that was kind of new, but now if you have a new band on the scene and they don't have some kind of scream vocals, you're like, what even is this? Why don't you have a scream element to this? How would you feel like what you were doing at the time of INME was kind of rare as well and sort of starting something new? And were you worried maybe does this have a heavy or a light audience? Do you think about that kind of aspect then?
I didn't know. I just did what I wanted to do, and we came from like being a three-piece sort of grungy. Nirvana was our biggest influence easily early on, so that probably lent itself to the occasional scream, and then I just developed my scream over the years, so it's not just a random shout with my voice randomly doing embarrassing squeaks and things. You refine it. You know what you want your scream to be. You want it to sound as heavy as possible or as emotional as possible, or whatever. But metalcore, no, I don't really know what that means because I thought you might be using this core.
I am also terrible with like subgenres and things, but I just understand it to be essentially a collection of bands like
Bring Me the Horizon. Are they metalcore?
Bring Me the Horizon would be metalcore. Bad Omens, to an extent, they're kind of more something else. I don't really know what they're calling it. What do they call it? Baddie core. Anyway, like Architects, Spirit Box, Invent Animate. It's kind of like heavy rock with some drive and energy to it, but also usually some kind of clean, catchy chorus.
There's an edge.
Yes.
When they'll do a heavy riff, it'll be heavy as hell, sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah, their breakdowns would be severe. Okay, but equally, the choruses are...
Cool, but I don't know if that's what people would label them as opposed to what the artists probably...
All true. I don't think any band... Well, I'm about to say that's immediately not true. Many bands probably wouldn't start writing music being like, we want to be this specific genre. They probably start going, what do we make collectively together? And then the world says, we think you're over here, I think.
Okay. Well, we'll see what people think of the next album. But, I mean, there's metal elements. So where's the core come in?
I don't know. I'm not good in the definitions.
Core was like what's cool at the moment or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because hardcore is very different from metalcore, right? It's kind of
life as well, isn't it?
Yeah, also true. This is it. The problem with all these genres is there is no strict definition you can really hang your hat on.
With a heavy edge, but we also will do whatever we want to do. And the only restrictions that we're confined by is ourselves, as in, I'm never going to sound like Pete Steele from Typo Negative, or I'm never going to sound like an opera singer or something like that. So,
sure.
But yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. We're a rock band with a heavy edge that focuses on good songs and melody. That's still too long.
For a genre name.
The thing is, we were chatting about it the other day because it was up as Brit alt. Was it alt rock? Brit alt rock. And I was like, well, let's get rid of the Brit bit.
I don't know why the Brit bit's in there at all. What does that even mean?
It's like patriotic or something.
They've got an English accent and therefore it's Brit rock.
Yeah, so we don't need the Brit. It's pretty obvious. And then I said melodic rock, but that could be like country or western.
Yeah, a lot of rock is melodic anyway, so I don't know it's tricky.
Maybe we're melodic rock metal.
Cool, works for me.
That's still pretty.
But what's nice is, but what's great is it doesn't have. This is my view on things. It doesn't have to have a genre. Like your band sounds like your band. That is the definition.
We sound like INME, but that doesn't help someone that hasn't heard.
Sure.
Like when I get asked by people I've meet or know, they'll say, "So what's your band like?" That is a tough one. So I'll just say melodic rock metal, but we sound like us.
Yeah, I
That's
wouldn't even know what comparative bands would be.
yeah, that they'll ask for a band, and I'll be like, I don't know, like a heavier metal version, like Muse and Foo Fighters or something. But no, it's
Yeah,
not that at all. I'm only saying
yeah.
that because we write rock songs with melodies. So
Mm.
I don't know. I
I
guess
guess a part of it might be as well. You have a certain kind of incredible vocal range, which you use within many of your songs. Like your high range is mad, and so maybe that's where the Muse comparison might be, because Matt Bellamy's
yeah,
got
yeah,
a
yeah.
mad range as
So
well.
and this is the best compliment I've ever received. Probably is I get told a lot. I sound like Jeff Buckley.
Wow,
Totally
nice.
cool with that. Just because when I do the
Yeah,
soaring, wailing stuff, it can go anywhere. It goes on a little journey. And when I wail, when I do like the higher stuff, it's quite hard to sing. For some reason, I do a lot more vibrato, so it gives it that. I don't know.
so
I'm very hard for like we can chat about auto tune and things like that. I don't personally use it much at all. I'll use it if I've like sang a whole verse and it's perfect, and I know I'm not going to get it better because something miraculous happened during the take.
sure.
Some sort of little crack in my voice I just want to keep forever.
Yeah.
But if I sang a note mega flat and like a recording is like a tattoo, it's there for life.
Mm-hmm.
So we tweak it. But producers and engineers have always said they have a really hard time in my voice because of the vibrato. So
Yeah, I was just thinking, if you
like,
got a vibrato going on and it's trying to correct for it,
yeah,
it's
and it's really
difficult.
accurate. I'm hitting the note, but I'm also constantly
Yeah, dancing around it like.
yeah. So that's quite funny. I struggle to just sing a straight note without any sort of inflection or vibrato or a little bit of grit or whatever.
But that's good. You know, I don't think you want to lose that though. That is what makes
No,
you
I'm
unique.
happy.
That's the
I
whole,
don't
you know.
like my voice. I've got like I'm an octave too high. I don't think it ever fully broke or whatever. And I'm quite nasal. I got a deviated septum, so I got my nose broken when I was a teenager and never quite healed properly. So, but that makes me sound unique. So yeah,
And you know what? It's not worked against you. Like, things have gone pretty well. You've had a really long, like
yeah.
incredibly long, successful career. So that's I think you've done all right.
I think it probably has given me obstacles along the way as well. It's not for everyone, which is fine. I don't mind. Um, what
But
is?
I don't think there's, yeah, there's, I mean, these are all just opinions, but I don't think anything that is for everyone, music wise, is necessarily the most interesting and worthwhile thing.
I'm all for all opinions unless they're deliberately mean.
Yeah,
That's about it. And it
totally fair.
can be funny if it's aimed at me. It's not hurt anyone else. As long as I won't lose sleep over it. But yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Another
I
time.
had a question from a viewer who's hoping you could chat about. This is from Unleash the Ghouls. What's their name? They want to know a little bit about the creation of the song "Faster." Sorry.
That sounds like metalcore band.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're a YouTube channel. I
Death
understand.
metalcore, maybe.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, they were hoping that you could speak a bit about the creation of the song "Fast the Chase," which they've said is one of their favorite songs ever written. I think that's not even just within your band and your history, but just of all time.
Mm.
Is that song was incredibly successful and it's a much loved song from INME fans. Do you remember writing that, and did you have a feeling that it was going to be a good one, or did it? Because it's what is the time signature? It's kind of a 6/8 sort of swung sort of thing, right?
6/8, yeah. As much as my knowledge of music tells me. Yeah, I remember where we were. I remember everything. Weirdly enough, it was the first song we wrote for White Butterfly, the album. Um, we were still rehearsing down this sort of caravan travelers sort of yard, I'd call it. And we loved it. We rehearsed there since we were like 13, 14. So we were still there. And we just got hold of like it was before we figured out how to make music on computers and laptops. Well, I'm not saying people, but us. And yeah, we bought this massive, expensive, silly thing with the band money we shouldn't have bought because we used it for like Faster the Chase, and there's a song called "You'll Get There," which was second song written. And I remember we wrote it together, but I came up with all the sort of ideas and melodies, and then we structured it together and wrote it as a band. And I knew it was a good starting point. If I'd have known like this song would be following me around for the rest of my life, I probably would have spent a bit more time on the lyrics. But then that's where I was at the time as well. So God knows if I'd have overthought the lyrics and written something else, it might have made it even weirder. But yeah, I played that song more than any other song like live in my life because I've played it at weddings. I always have to play it at the solo shows, not because I have to, like it's a contractual thing, but I enjoy it anyway because you get such a nice audience reaction from it. Yeah. And if I'm having a bad one, just whip out Faster the Chase. Get people back on your side.
Get everyone outside.
Yeah. But no, I like it. I play an acoustic version, which is developed, like you slowly develop a song without thinking about it. And yeah, I didn't realise, because it's not our biggest charting. It's the one we spent the most money on the music video. That was like, it seems surreal now that we had like 11, I don't know how you say it, Arctic lorries, Arctic trucks.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why is it called Arctic because they go to
I don't know. Maybe.
I never checked that out till now until I look silly. But yeah, we had that and just all these extras and yeah, that song. Yeah, just give me an idea. So I mean, that song will be in our set list probably no matter what. But
yeah, every gig I imagine.
Cool idea. Just now. Maybe I'll tell the guys we'll do that on the next tour. Basically, maybe we could start with it.
Yeah, do you know what? I saw Papa Roach a couple years ago, and they opened with Last Resort, and we were just like, "What?" No one was ready for it. We were all like, "Oh, amazing!" And you enjoy it; it's great. And then you go, "You've had it. Now follow us on the journey."
Yeah.
And actually, I guess the worry is, what if they leave because they've heard different? No, everyone kind of relaxes then.
Other songs that are sort of expected, Underdose and
Underdose,
and yeah. See what they say.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Or equally, I mean,
we always end on it. We've ended on it for the last God knows how many years, 6 years. So yeah,
you could even start it. I mean, I'm giving you ideas. You can be like, mate, let me figure out our live shows. But like, you could start it acoustic on your own, and then band comes in, banging halfway through.
That's cool. A lot of faff. I'm immediately thinking of the technical
swapping guitars.
Yeah. And then me going on stage first, because I like the fact now that I'm just the singer and I write guitar in the band and I play guitar in the band, but not live at the moment. Probably going to do some bits and bobs moving forward. But yeah, I'd have to. That would be quite nerve wracking. If I just suddenly strum the, I don't know, because the strings go out of tune based on the temperature.
Yeah.
I'd rather the guys all come on and then I come on and I'm secure because they're around me. But yeah, good idea. But maybe too theatrical for the level of venues we play as well. Dave's come on with an acoustic. What's going on here?
Yeah,
he's kicked them all out. Or they just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one spotlight. This is my show, lads.
Yeah.
So in recent years, I saw you supporting Therapy at a small venue in London many years ago.
Yes.
And that was the first time I'd seen you do acoustic performances. And you did a cover of Creep by Radiohead, which is kind of mind-blowingly good. Yeah, it's really, really good. What was that a new thing around the time you were doing that, venturing into solo acoustic stuff, or is that something you've been doing and someone asked you to try that out? How did you venture into the solo world?
I think it was about the time Overgrown Eden came out. I mean, even before that, like a lot of the ideas on Overgrown Eden and not White Butterfly, sorry, no, but a lot of ideas came from. I just come home from college pretty much every day and record like half an album's worth of material. I wouldn't write anything. So it is waffle. It's like nonsense lyrics, whatever's going on in my teenage mind at the time. With I didn't even change my strings for years, so it's just like three strings on this acoustic, just like this. And then occasionally a bit of magic would come out, and I go, well, I wrote that somehow, and I guess that's extended to now. But now I just do voice memos and write a lyric down in my voice, my notes and memos. So it's just come from there. But I forgot what I was saying again.
Talking about doing the solo acoustic stuff and
sorry, carry on again.
You're talking about the journey into doing solo acoustic stuff, kind of as a live performative.
Yeah, it came from that, and then I started doing like EPs, but I made like an album worth of material in 2003 when we released Overgrown Eden. So it was there then, and then I started just playing songs on my own and acoustic, and then I started doing well, for many reasons, but for financial reasons, I started playing pub cover gigs when when we sort of run out of money as a band, and I was trying to figure out how to get a job and whatnot. So I started doing that and playing events and just pub gigs and weddings and things like that. And I ran an acoustic night every Sunday since 2006 for 10 years, pretty much every Sunday, other than like but Christmas and big football matches and stuff. So that gave me like 10 years training of trying out different cover songs. Like I try and learn 5 cover songs pretty much every week.
Wow.
New ones, and sort of developing. Like I ended up with like 1,000 different covers that I played. I can't play them off now, but so that helped me to get outside of my own writing comfort zone and go and probably subconsciously pinch what I like from other artists. Not like obviously, but yeah, just subconsciously.
Draw inspiration, yes.
Yeah. Develop and try different chord patterns and different rhythms and things, and so that's where it probably kicked off, and that's about where I started touring it. And yeah, I've done that sort of ever since, really. And to some success. I mean, I can play around the UK doing small shows, which I'm fine with. I'd like to be bigger, but I don't think I was. Nothing was going to happen. Nothing really happens unless you like put the work in. So for the last few years, whilst I've been sort of mentally, emotionally, whatever, off grid. So now we'll see what happens with it, because I'm determined and much more ambitious to see where it can go. I know, like I'm not, I'm not going to try and make some sort of pop music. I'm a bit older now, so yeah, it's not like the young days where I'm in a different place in my life, but yeah, still doing it. Got gigs coming in this year, and like I do open mic nights all the time in Brighton, just for fun, just to enjoy playing live music and to meet people and hang out, and that's why we're doing this other thing as well. It's not acoustic, I'm on drums, but yeah, just busy with music.
Yeah, you got a tour, I think, coming up soon, an acoustic solo tour, right?
Yeah, that's just talking to the guys, sorting that out in the moment today, actually, and then might be doing something in May with INME that we're working on, and then album release sort of autumn, another tour with INME then, and see what festivals pop up. We're doing Concord 2, doing this thing called Hammer Down Fest in July, which is great. Like Concord 2. Concord 2 is one of the reasons I moved to Brighton. Not to go to gigs there, like just the memories I've had of Brighton being on the touring map, and I'd always just be like, "Oh, wicked! We're playing Brighton Concord 2, which is to me like a fantasy land of amazingness. It's beautiful. There's always rock and roll stuff going on, and and then playing this gig that feels like home, and then you just go out and you're on the beach. So yeah, we're playing that. We're headlining the Sunday in July. I can't remember the date. I should remember that. And we've got a thing in May called Sourfest. We're doing in Corby. Yeah, I've done.
Loads to
I've
do.
done this again. I've gone across. I'm jumping around.
No, it's great. It's all part of life. But it's also all music related. I mean, so you've got all that coming up in the solo stuff. You also have a song shop, right, where people can kind of ask for songs to be written. So they would send you material for you to then craft a song about their material. And I was wondering, what is that like as a songwriting process when you're given a topic or a concept or a story, and how does that differ for you writing songs for folks when they're requesting
that? Well, I just sort of, it's always acoustic because it take me a week to make a song, like with full band and everything. Yeah. Yeah, I just try to dive into it. So that I'll ask for things like special places, like anniversaries, and even things like their pets' names, whatever they give me. Sometimes they give me so much, I'm like, I could write a book on this or an album.
That's an album, yeah.
Yeah. And then I just just try and like I did them for Christmas and it's fun. I mean, and then I'm doing them for Valentine's Day. Yeah, it's just fun and yeah, I just do it right where I'm sitting now. I've got all my little setup and it's as simple as that, really. I just I'm quite quick. You know, I know I'll come up with a melody and then I can put the lyrics in quite well and yeah, it seems to work.
That's amazing. What a gift to be able to have and to give someone who is not necessarily musically creative, or, you know, to put something that's important to them in song form is it's a bit of a privilege. That's really cool. And I guess that would allow you to stay busy in between tours as well, and your
Well, like I
album works
say,
and the
like
rest.
for a few years, like I wasn't at my best by a long stretch, but yeah, now I've always got something going on, and then if I haven't, I can always figure something out to work on. Like yesterday, there was nothing, there was no one around. There's like I do spend a lot of Fridays just on my own, and then all of a sudden this song came out of nowhere, like an INME song, and
wow,
it was quite something I hadn't thought of writing in the style of before. So yeah, just a song came out, and then that wouldn't have happened had I not been sat here with my mind brewing.
that's really cool. Yeah, I hear, and it makes sense to me. That I've not figured, done a survey to figure out this is correct or not, but creativity often comes from boredom. It is when the mind is able to wander rather than, and when I've in the past been writing songs, I find the hardest moments are when I go, right, we're all together, we need to write something now. It's like then nothing comes.
Yeah, we struggle with that. Although some of the best songs are. Sorry, I need WD-40 on this chair.
I can hear that. Yes.
Yeah, I'd have gone to Gaz's and I sang this thing in the shower before I came down, and we just make a song out of it. And then there was one we just started messing about. So some of the songs, but then sometimes we'd sit down and go, "It's not happening today, is it? Nothing's happening." So I don't like that. That's why I like to sit at home and work on something first, and then the guys can work their magic with it as well. And yeah, I wouldn't want to force it. A jam song, a song that comes from a spontaneous jam.
Yeah.
We usually have some homework prepared to develop something, but then it also does happen sometimes.
Yeah, I suppose it's not impossible. I have yet to experience one of those writing sessions where we're kind of forcing it, and the next day thinking that song's great. Normally we're like, it's a song, you know?
Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, apart from like learning tricky parts or lyrics, but once I'm on a roll with lyrics, I can't stop. Because I love wordplay. I like triple meanings in songs as well, or double meanings. so that it can mean something really personal to me, or it can mean two different personal things to me, but then someone else can relate to it as something else. I love that. I like wordplay. So the lyrics take time and effort. You can't just, I mean, you do get some good lines that just come out, but you do have to really, you can't just do nonsense waffle lyrics, but you can. I have.
But yeah, many bands have done that and been very successful at it.
You're stuck with those nonsense waffle lyrics for the rest of your life. So yeah, but yeah, if some, like, sometimes I won't even record or write down an idea, and then the next day, if I'm singing that idea and I'm developing it just in my mind without even, I know I'm onto a winner because it's writing itself and it's memorable. So yeah, but I don't really have issue there. I'm always pretty creative. I did, but then when I was massive drunk, I'd still get loads of cool lyrical ideas and melody ideas, but it'd just be this shambles of a load of notes, and to organise that into something cohesive required a clear mind. But now, yeah, I love it. Yeah, I don't think the older I get, I'm not running out of ideas. I'm just getting more ideas, if anything, and now I can make them a much more of a reality of what I envision a song to be. So like, what I'm working on, I mean, the album we're working on, Demons. I love it, and other than making sure my vocals are as good as they can possibly be, I'm kind of pretty much there with it. And then for what I'm working on afterwards, I'm so excited about it. Like when I got sober, I had to deal, like, my anxiety stopped. Like, I don't know if it's
Wow.
because I was changing my mindset and my headspace, but I wasn't like unnecessarily anxious all the time, and I wasn't like having panic attacks. I wasn't even crying anymore. I was a big crier. And now the odd movie will get me, or something will get me, like if I remember my dad or something like that. But not like in a miserable woe is me, I hate life, crying away. So I've forgotten where I was going again. Forgotten.
That's all
This is
right.
a problem that you're capturing live on
No,
film.
this is great. You know what? This is so easily understood as this is the creative mind. You
This
know?
this is a man who took rock and roll too far until it became quite a sad, sorry state of affairs, and has probably damaged some of his brain cells. But no, sorry, where was I going? You'll remember.
Well, I do have somewhere to go from there. You're kind of talking about sort of mindset and I guess so my wife was saying she follows you on Facebook quite closely, and she says you're very open and honest with your fans and the rest and the things you post, kind of social media wise. Is that something that you do naturally, or do you feel like something you ought to do? How do you, I don't know, marry up yourself and who you are with the kind of social, musician on Facebook kind of side of things?
I guess I owe it to people because I've, you know, let people down, close to me and not so close, whatever. And so yeah, then I was still in a really bad way. So I was kind of explaining myself in a warped, messy, shambolic way. So I guess I just owe it to people. And also, like, I know I'm not the only one who's gone through this. I mean, I've gone through it in my own unique way. I think everyone's suffering, be it addiction, mental health, um, whatever it may be. There's many similarities that I could probably draw from someone else's struggles. And so, uh, yeah, I want people to know if I can get out of that, I reckon anyone can. You just need a little bit of help, but you need to know that it's possible. And hopefully, I could serve as, I don't know. I'm not an expert, so I got to be careful. I don't want to like. I'm an expert at my problems now, but
Good. That's a great start.
I'm still trying to figure out how I might be of use to others who might think they don't have a way out of their own problems. So there's that. Um, it's also freeing, you know.
Mm.
Um, like I'm the same in person. I'm not like I don't, the right place and time, but I think everyone I'm conscious of, everyone's a lot more open about talking about stuff these days. Like my dad would have never been able to say, he would have been too proud and
Mm.
ashamed and embarrassed to say he had mental health problems. And I think I, I'm not an expert, like I say, but most people do, I reckon, to some degree.
I'd
Um,
agree.
so I guess when I do talk about this stuff, I get messages saying, "Wow, they don't feel quite so alone." So I'm just little old me over here, but if that can help, cool. And to let people know, uh, that you can get through it. And I'm pretty confident that I'm through. Well, hopefully to people visibly, like uh, out of it. And I never thought I'd get out of it, whatever it is. Um, and it's weird. Yeah, I'm not doing the cliche thing. Like it's been a while now, and there's things I'm ashamed of and regret, but um, that was like that's not who I am. That's not how I see myself now. So yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't want to say I want to be an inspiration because that is way too grandiose and self-involved. But
I suspect you get a sense that that is what's happening, especially if people are writing out to you after you post something and saying like you have inspired. Then I think it's fair enough to notice that that is a part of it. And certainly as you are a public figure being in a band and making music, so there would be even more comfort for those who feel like they are doing, having a normal life with normal work and jobs. And even someone who is on stage can relate. That's quite an inspirational thing, I think, for everyone who, as all human beings will have some struggles with some mental issues here and there, for sure.
yeah, and I see it, and I can tell. I can tell when people are suffering. And yeah, I can't speak for people because maybe some people literally don't have anyone that could help them. But I can tell them there is help there,
Mm.
and there is a way out of it. I couldn't do it on my own. I wouldn't have been able to. I didn't know how to stop drinking. Um, but the help was there, and I didn't have to pay a fortune to go to a facility or whatever and get the special celeb treatment as it's sort of seen, I guess, as some people. I'm not a celeb anyway. Like I'm a lucky, kind of somewhat known musician. Uh, but yeah, I guess just that it's possible. You
Mm.
don't have, as hard and as terrible as things may seem. It's probably not quite as bad as you think, and you probably can do something about it if you get help. But
Yeah,
like,
and
I'm
I
not an expert, but I think if you think you can't do anything about it, then you do need help, and especially if you're miserable or you know your life's not functional. Um, it is doable to get out of it.
I I suspect it's probably extraordinarily hard, if possible at all, to get yourself out of such a situation, because if you're in a tough spot, you'll just mentally spiral yourself down, I suspect. So it probably does require other people, and maybe that's something you need to be brave enough to go out and ask for help, or to try and take the
Yeah,
chance on that. And you can see it as life is hard when you're in a depression phase, and it's hard to try and come out of that. They're both hard. Choose the hard that you want to do in a way. A quick fun anecdote that the viewers won't know is that you performed at the wedding of my now wife and myself. And one of the songs you covered, which we weren't even that familiar with at the time, was a John Mayer song. I think it was Bigger Than My Body. And what's interesting is we adored the performance of that song so much that that's become our like wedding day song because of the fact that that was in your acoustic set. So that was really cool. And it kind of leads me to think on just how instrumental some songs can become because of situation or whatever it is. And do you have any songs in your life that are pinnacle songs you come back to again and again that are really meaningful to you?
Definitely, yeah. And just back to that, yeah. I gotta start playing that song again.
It's great. It really suits your voice. The chorus, when you go to the high kind of vibrato stuff, it was wild. So
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I gotta remember that. Sorry, I'm actually setting a reminder.
Do you think?
Yeah, like I lost my dad 3 years ago, and played some songs. We scattered his ashes in the sea. That's what he wanted to be, scattered at sea.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a song called Sentinel. It's by Mike Oldfield, and it just takes me back to a really happy time with my dad. Just literally remember cassettes in the car, him dropping me off for swimming practice on a Saturday, us playing, just yeah. So that song, um, a lot of stuff from my teenage years, like songs just take you back to a time that I remember. Someone was pointing this out the other day. They remember exactly where they were when they heard something,
Mm.
and I'm the same. I remember when I first heard Rage Against the Machine. I was in year 6, year 5 at school or whatever. And
Gosh.
I was like, "What is this? He's swearing. This is amazing. He's angry." And then I remember being around my friend Alex's house. We had a rap group. We were like when we were like 10, called Bad and Rad. I was bad. He was rad. I remember that. But I remember being around his house. We were working on some Bad and Rad material, and him showing. I listened to "If I Was Your Mother" by Bon Jovi, and I just thought this is so heavy because it was the first time I properly heard like distorted, palm muted chords.
Yeah.
And there was like gang vocals and not like melodic gang vocals. It's Bon Jovi, but so I remember that, and I remember meeting a girl at summer camp when I was like 14, and us dancing and having a kiss on the dance floor to "If You Want to Be My Lover."
What a romantic song.
Yeah, I
So
know.
romantic.
So I went and bought that album after that holiday. Things like that. Madness,
Nice.
baggy trousers always reminds me of my step uncle doing a particular crazy dance on New Year's Eve, family New Year's Eves. Yeah, I could go on.
That's awesome. Yeah. I just remembered there, like my first rock CD was Smash Mouth Fushio Mang, and I remember feeling like I discovered a pot of gold.
I remember
Like
Smash.
because they had a big hit song with Walking on the Sun, which is quite a radio friendly pop rock song. And then you get the album, it's basically punk rock. And I was
Yeah,
like,
I remember.
what is this? It's
I remember it.
amazing.
I had a cassette. I don't know how I had that cassette. I had Smash Mouth. That was probably when I was, because it started with Michael Jackson. That
Yeah.
was my favourite. And then once I discovered guitars, music, it was Bon Jovi. That was a big one for me. Me and my dad went to see him at Wembley Stadium in '95, and Milton Keynes Bowl in '96. And then Nirvana came along. After, obviously, they'd ended, I got into Nirvana, and that's when I thought I could form a band because I started to be able to play the basic chords. And not to say Nirvana's music is basic, but
It's
we
accessible somehow.
it wasn't, because I was into Iron Maiden at the time as well. There's no way I was going to play Iron Maiden songs, like
Yeah.
with the guitar solos and whatnot. I still couldn't. Well, I couldn't play Bon Jovi songs either. The guitar solos are insane there, but yeah, that so I've forgotten where I was going again, mate. Right, I'm
Oh, good.
gonna have
We're
to
talking about
talk to you about this. Yeah,
great
short.
songs and inspirational bands that helps you start on your own journey
We
of.
know we noticed it the other day. Like we still meet once a week, pretty much no matter what. Well, we meet more than once a week anyway. Me and Gaz, like one of my best friends ever. He's we do the gym 3 times a week, and that's another thing. If you do get sober, do the gym. Make that your new addiction. It's
Nice.
better, and people say nice things about you, like you're not falling apart at the seams anymore and stuff like that. But yeah. So we meet once a week, and we were like, we've just done so many tangents. We were working on this thing, and now we're discussing this and researching. We're looking for videos on YouTube that had nothing to do with what we were doing. So yeah, it's not just me.
No,
So
of
our
course
advanced
not.
years collectively as a band.
But again, that's what I'm saying before. It's the creative mind. It is drawing comparisons between seemingly unrelated things and creating something new as a combination of those.
We haven't had any awkward silence during this interview, have we?
No, certainly not on my end. I allow pauses to in case you have additional thoughts here and there. But yeah, it's all very natural. But this is why I love doing this. The podcast is a fairly new venture. It's been going for a couple of months as part of the channel, but I just adore chatting about
Well,
music to people who.
I did some research beforehand today, and uh, it's just funny that because I watched one of the videos, and then you're wearing the hoodie. So.
Oh right, yeah, yeah. I don't have that many hoodies, and I just adore this band. Are you familiar with Sleep
Well,
Token?
I mean, I really like them. I like Sleep Token's music a lot, but our bassist Mike and our guitarist John, they are like obsessed.
Yeah.
So we hear a lot about Sleep Token. Every little stuff that I don't personally, I'm, I'm like, good for them. I like the music. I really dig it. It's interesting. I like the fact that they go in all these different directions and stuff.
Yeah.
But they'll be like, oh, something's happened about this and that. And I'm like, okay. So
Yes.
I don't need to check the news for Sleep Token.
No.
I'll hear about it no matter what. It'll be in my WhatsApp groups. It'll be in the van.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be with the guys will let me know.
Yeah, they're the most spoken about band in the world right now. And I did not see that coming when I
No,
first heard them back in 2018. But like their US North America tour is sold out basically instantaneously. And it's just kind of mad. And as with many things, when they get very popular, there's levels to fandom where it gets silly.
annoying.
Um,
I
yeah.
don't go to a gig to hear screaming.
Unless you're the one on stage, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a fever pitch element to some things, which
It's
is
annoying for me
beyond.
when I like get into an artist. I mean, I'm just sounding like a cranky old man, but yeah, and I'm really into it, and then it blows up, and I go to the gig, and I'm like, well, actually, a lot of these people. It happened with Gautier, and I liked Gautier, and then that song, like, I mean, I think I got into around that song anyway, so um, I'm still one of the people that got into them for that song. But yeah, I went to see him at Brixton, I think Brixton Academy, and people were just there for that song. And
Yeah.
by that point, I'd really got into all the albums and all the visuals and the fact that he's a multi instrumentalist and stuff. And then halfway through the gig, he just said, "Right, we're going to play that song." He was going to play it last.
Uh-huh.
So all you people who are talking, you can go home, have a cup of tea or whatever, and everyone else can carry on
Wow.
enjoying the show. And they played the song; it was like insane. And then like the crowd reaction, but yeah. So
Did
I
people leave then
find
after
that
that?
annoying. Like, yeah, I want to hear the band more than I want to hear. I don't mind singing along, but when it's just like screaming because someone's like taking a sip of water or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but what it speaks to for the way my brother and I kind of respond to it is when you like a band, if you discover a band, you enjoy them, go see them like as quick as you can, essentially, because they will, if they're good, they will progress and go
Yeah,
bigger, and they might get to a point where it's a very different experience, and you want to have had the intimate experience early doors if you can.
yeah, we. I got. I It was like my Spotify recommendations years ago, so like 2018, 2019 or something. And I heard them and went, this is really interesting. Like, it's sort of my sort of thing musically, but he's singing in a, I don't know, it's like some of it sounds really poppy, and I love pop. Like James Arthur or someone like that singing.
Yeah.
It's not a metal band. And then, but I had no idea they were wearing masks or whatever either. I just thought,
Right.
I hadn't seen a photo of them. I just listened on Spotify. And then all of a sudden, it's all, everyone's talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember these guys. This is good. Oh, they got a new album. That's cool. Listen through to the whole album. It's really good, that. Take Me Back to Eden.
Yeah.
Took me on a little journey. And then we were playing a festival called Takedown Festival 2022 in Portsmouth, and they were headlining the same day as us. And I was like, I'll definitely, I'll go and watch them, but there's another band I really want to see. And then I ended up missing the other band, and just, I was transfixed. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're bloody headlining Wembley Arena, just like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's quick.
That some of that was TikTok kind of
Yeah,
exposing them.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do TikTok. I don't
was
know.
about to ask, are you in the TikTok world as yet or no?
I don't really know what it is other than short videos for people with
basically it's like the modern version of Vine. Remember Vines? It was like short videos.
7-second videos or whatever they were.
Yeah, and then they killed that off, being like, no one wants this, and then TikTok was like, well, we'll just do that, and actually everyone wants this, and now it's huge.
Yeah, so we're going to use that as a tool, I suppose.
As a broadcasting tool, but it's
reaching a younger audience, maybe. I don't know. Or then, I don't know. I know friends' mums who've got TikTok.
Yeah, it's the world over. It's huge.
Short little video thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm barely in that world. I do a couple of clips here and there of my content and put it over there just to dip my toe in.
So it's like a YouTube Shorts.
Kind of, yeah. YouTube Shorts, TikTok is like that, or Instagram Reels. It's all kind of the same thing, but TikTok platform, whatever the way it works, is pretty intense.
I mean, I like social media for my own purposes, but I'm terrible. Like the guys, I'm still trying to figure out stories and reels, and it's not
Same. I'm so old.
I mean, it's half me being stupid and half me just being old. So like, yeah.
But equally,
guys, this story's reels thing though. I want to look at it now. Like, I want to look at it a week later, and well, unless you saved it, it's gone. And I'm like, well, there was a video of us playing that song really well live, and I want to serve my own ego right now. I want to watch us on stage. I'm having nothing's going on today. I need a pick me up. And they'll go, no, that's not the point of stories and reels. But they speak, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
And that's just me being stupid.
But it's also fun. It's not even being stupid. I think it's good. Focus on the things that you enjoy. And it might be that if you did spend time going down those rabbit holes, you'd end up spending less time being creative and doing the things you enjoy musically.
I've been down the Facebook videos and the YouTube shorts, and then you end up watching stuff, and I'm like, this is stupid.
What a waste of time.
At least watch something worthwhile in some way, but then sometimes you do want to just be a
and some of them are great. As with anything, as with music and online videos, some things are amazing, some things are not.
Who doesn't love? I've forgotten what he's called, but the guy who does. This very popular guy does videos with over animals. He does them talking. I can't remember.
I don't know.
If he comes up, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good animal video?
Certainly the internet loves cats more than anything else, it seems. To round off here soon, because I'm conscious of your time and I've got a day ahead myself. Staying on a positive and thinking about things that are great. What would you say is your favorite song of INME's, and what would you say is your favorite song of your solo songwriting stuff?
That's been released.
Yes, correct. And it can be either you think it was you think it's the best song, or it was the hardest nut to crack and you finally managed to figure it out, or just one that you think is on a repeat listen you really enjoy, you like playing live again and again.
I'll do one that seems to be a consistent for INME would be a song called "Safe in a Room." It's off the second album, White Butterfly. That one is quite personal for me in terms of what it's about, and that to me sums up INME's sound, or at least what I want INME's sound to be, which
Right.
is just it's got edge, it's got great riffs, it's got sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet, which I am. Incredible melodies.
I have asked you to talk about your own band. I think it's okay. I think it's fair.
Oh yeah, yeah. That one would be the winner overall. That, and then at the moment, um, other than the new material, we played Bournemouth O2 Academy last Saturday, and we played Her Mask. And yeah, I went to a little special place whilst I was playing that because it shows off my voice, and when my voice is not on top form, which happens, I still shred it. Um, that song's tricky, but it was on form, and I was doing that Jeff Buckley thing, and I was it was a good place. That song allows me to. There's a lot of space in it, so it allows me to shine as such. Solo wise, there's a song called Snowball. It's on my second album, Dream Was, in 2013, and yeah, that song took a long. That was a tough one to crack, and it ended up being two songs stuck together. But yeah,
Oh.
every single part of that has been meticulously worked out to make a song that is very hard to play, vocally and guitar wise. But yeah, I think that's one of my strongest. And there's a song called Spring Hearts Need Blood, which has been a song of mine solo for nearly 20 years. So that one stood the test of time. That to me, just all the melodies, the lyrics, everything works, and people like it. So yeah, those ones.
Excellent. Great. I mean, for anyone who's watching this and hasn't heard any of your stuff as yet, those are maybe great places to start. Even Dave himself
Yeah,
says those are some good ones.
I got a song called Before I Even Had You, which I like the song, but I rushed it. So looking back, I wouldn't have written it the day before and then just bodged it out with a hangover, no less. Um, but for some reason, last year it exploded on Spotify, and I still don't know why. It's got 10 times the amount of what my highest stream amount was for any song before that.
Amazing. Just from last year.
I don't know why though.
It could be something like someone mentioned it on a
Could have been
podcast or in a
a
video.
TikTok or
Like,
something. I don't know. So
that's
I've added
great.
that one to the set list after years of not playing it because apparently it
Yeah.
went up to nearly like 1 million streams or something. And
Good Lord.
strange.
Nice. What a happy surprise. Now, how could people best keep in track with what you're up to and keep up to date with your dates and releases and things? Where's the best place to follow you online?
At the moment, other than emails, would be Facebook. Is that still a
It
thing?
exists. It's a platform. I'm sure people use
Yeah,
it.
it is for me at least. In terms of people respond to what I put on there, and Instagram and TikTok. Watch this space.
Coming soon to TikTok.
Yeah, I'll give you tips on uh, how to become is it called a creator? Do I say
Sure.
that?
Sure. Yeah. Content creator or musical creator. I don't know.
I'm just gonna stick with like artist, musician,
Yes.
lyricist, creator.
And
Creator.
drummer.
I'm like Willy Wonka or something. I've invented something, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah. I suppose. Yeah.
But
Inventors.
the term creator could go even further to being like
It's a very wide term, to be fair. I think a lot of things could fit in there. I think you're right.
right. I'm
Yeah.
not a creator. I
No.
create stuff,
Yeah, exactly.
but I'll get back to people on whether I'm a creator in the contemporary
Okay.
sense of the term online.
Well, so they should follow you on Facebook and Instagram in the meantime, no less,
Yeah,
and
I
then we'll
think
see.
X or whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I still put stuff on there. I believe. Yeah, that's it at the moment. And I'm guessing I need to scrub up on the old TikTok. What else is there? Be real. I'm not going to do be real.
I don't. I've not had that in my life, and I don't feel any downside to not being involved in that.
I'm not going to put it into an age bracket. Actually, I am. I'm too old.
But yeah.
I'm too old to use Be Real, and I
Yeah,
don't
fair.
need. I don't want to like get hooked on anything that is like a game as well as a social media thing where I'm
Yeah.
trying to get points.
And as I said earlier, there's a risk with all those things. It will take time, because you take time away from things that you're doing that are going really well and are really healthy for you with your new healthy life and your creativity and these multiple musical endeavors you're doing. You're going to be drumming soon, which is very exciting. I'm looking forward to checking that one out at some point. So thank you very, very much indeed for the time you've given for this conversation. It's been fascinating and a joy to speak with you today, Dave. So thank you for that. And good luck with the new music coming out soon. I'll be watching that from the sidelines.
Happy to be here.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that chat with Dave McPherson from INME as much as I did. Reminder that you can chat to me about the podcast and recommend artists you want me to talk to by joining the free Discord server, the link of which is in the description of this very episode. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more videos like this in future, or if you're listening on a podcast platform, then subscribe on whatever platform that is. And hopefully you'll enjoy the next episode I do with whoever the next artist will be. That is yet to be confirmed, but I'm working on a couple of very exciting prospects very soon. Thank you for listening.